But, okay, so Paul's going to do a beer keg here momentarily here.
Going to do a beer keg. In honor of 50,000 followers.
Yeah, we got to tell everybody.
The whole point of this entire endeavor was we were kind of hanging around the 40s, I guess, even high 30s, whatever it was at the time, and kind of went on a push for getting to 50,000, and that happened when Paul threw this out there like 10,000 away or something, or 9,000 away.
I think it was even further than that.
I don't know. It was somewhere in there, and I don't know, in about 5 weeks we got all 10,000 plus that we needed to get to 50,000, so this happened a lot quicker than he expected it to. We got to get to 100 for me to do a show without my ball cap on here, so I'm feeling good. I'm not worried about that for a while. Hopefully we get there quicker than we think, like with Paul's ordeal, but it does kind of seem like he threw that out there, and you blink, and here we are, and he's about to do it. So
we've shot past it, as a matter of fact.
No, we did. We blew right through it. It's 53 plus now.
But you just didn't think this was going to happen as quickly as it
did. I thought we were going to be doing this in like late September. Yeah. Like that's what I thought we were going to do, and so. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people on the chat room are excited.
Here we are. Here we are, smack in the middle of July.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you underestimate people.
Yeah. No, everybody, keg stand from MC Gusto. We can go all through it. Retired stockbroker, Clint Moses, Jack McKenzie. Let's see. Paxton, Paul, do you have a buzz going on, a pre-buzz?
No, the only thing that I've had is I had to test, just for my own edification, the water pressure coming out of the keg. So I had a quick little, 2 second,
Yeah, there was spillage.
Yeah, well, that was Emery and I'm surprised. I haven't put a tap in a keg since the last time I did a keg stand. Emery, I would have being
like 22
years old, would have done it more recently. But
Emery goes home to a keg.
Yeah, I just thought that Emery was my guy here. It probably should have been Jack. We had the pressure valve down instead of up, and that caused a little bit of a mess. But we've since cleaned it up so it doesn't smell like the Kappa Alpha Theta house.
Yeah, it does. It does have a little smell in here. I can tell it's on the carpet. We'll need to get that cleaned.
Yeah.
The good news is it's a lot smaller than I expected. I normally, for some reason, I just had in my head, I think because you had the big wooden barrel, you know what? I was thinking more of that in my head for some reason rather than just a regular keg. So I was thinking of it being to waist height, but no, that's a lot more manageable. So
Xavier,
that'll be good.
Yeah, Xavier drinking on the job, retired stockbroker. Who is holding Paul up? There should be an Aggie light bulb joke in here somewhere from retired stockbroker.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be Emery and Jack. Somebody's got to run the show, but we'll see. There's 3 people available, but Garrett's got to run the camera.
Yeah, I'm busy over here. I'm just ready for the show.
MC Gusto, can't wait to watch
I was just told that Kappa Alpha Theta is a sorority, so if their house smells like beer, then they're pretty badass. I'll just tell you that right now.
Hey, man, girls drink beer. Yeah. Girls drink more beer than guys sometimes.
So you had, 2 pieces of pepperoni pizza?
I had one, just one.
Okay, good. I got one over here. I was very hungry. Drink, and fight. All sports. Was it all sports? One of our all pro sports are scripted. Greetings from Interstate A4. Everybody, I'm headed to Boise for my little self reboot. Good for you.
There you go.
I'm hoping to get one of those in a couple of weeks. I need a little self reboot, so enjoy yours. Yeah, before everything goes crazy.
So guess what today is?
By the way, I need to welcome a new sponsor, Cold Break. And go to coldbreak.com. I'll put the link in the thing. We don't have the graphic done yet.
Okay.
But they sell kegerators.
There you go.
For your tailgate. So
good timing. Good timing with them. So today, 3 years ago, when all hell broke loose. Today, 3 years ago, Greg Sankey even bringing that up today, that it was 3 years ago at about this time, this might have been a couple of hours ago, when the story by Brett Zerneman broke that Texas and Oklahoma were leaving for the SEC. A&M was like, I think he might have the wrong information. And, of course, it was true, and here we are today. They're Texas at Big 12 Media Days. Tomorrow will be A&M. Yesterday was Oklahoma.
Okay, so now this makes it that it's this week, SEC Media Days, and it's in Texas, makes it feel like even more planned out, like more of a dart thrown at the Big 12 for this. So, but it is three. It's been 3 wild years in college athletics.
And as we've seen with Nick Saban retired, we mentioned it was 240 different coaches and staffers that were 400 and some 20 or so that were affected. And when Texas, Oklahoma started, it eventually, we know it led to probably about 24, right? Schools that have changed positions.
Yeah, I think
8
that's
into the Big 12, and of course the Pac-12 had some go to the Big 10. The ACC added some, and of course the SEC added those 2.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger deal than the personnel and all of the players and all of that moved around. I mean, that's going to happen with just coaching changes. This was outright whole conference changes that were directly a result of this. Now, if you want to say, well, technically Missouri going to the SEC or one of those prior moves, A&M to the SEC, one of those things was really the beginning of this stage of realignment. I guess go for it, but I think this is a nice, clean starting point of this era of the last 3 years was this announcement right here, and then shortly after USC and UCLA, and then the Big 12 goes after the G5s and the American Athletic Conference in particular, and then, so on and so forth. That's continued to be an evolution and still is in some ways. I know there's, a lot of talk about what's next off of that, but that all directly, too, stems from Texas and Oklahoma. So, I'm still curious of how that would have gone down had Brent Zorneman not been tipped off. Do they wait another year to announce that? Do they wait 2 years and then lead the Big 12 in a lurch where they don't have any teams to go and get, and they really are up S Creek without a paddle, and there is no Brett Yormark to swoop in as the new hire because it's all for naught anyways, because there's, the whole battlefield's a lot different if the timing isn't what it is of you finding out. If you find out a year or two later, then it might be too late to have done anything about it, and the Big 12 dies rather than the Pac-12. So there's a lot of what-ifs with that. Fortunately for a lot of schools and a lot of the conference, the Big 12 conference fans, not so much fortunately for Pac-12 fans in certain schools, it worked out well for you in the long run. But, yeah, that was a monumental day, a monumental report, and it shook up the entire sport and not just football and all of college sports. And here we are 3 years later, and look at all that's different. Just from that moment on, like y'all were saying. So it's crazy. Brent Zorneman with the scoop of a century. And, yeah, now they're all settled in, and they're, hanging out with the SEC at media days, and it's a new era. So what a time that was. And I don't know what would have happened with this show. I'm confident we would have been around, but in terms of just the way we are looked at and the way some people look to us for certain things, like, would that have been the case had it not been for how that all happened? Probably not. It would have happened differently.
Salt Lake City is the 6th-ranked market of our viewership, the 6th-ranked market. And without BYU and Utah in this conversation the last 4 years, who knows how much of that would be true. By the way, it was 55 days after Texas and Oklahoma, the story broke, that the Big 12 added 4 teams. It was on September the 10th of that year. So on July 17th of 2021, Texas, Oklahoma, that story pops. And the Big 12, in less than 2 months, announced that they had voted to add 4 schools on September 10th of that same year.
Yeah, and you got to love the way Sankey always positioned that so that he's not the bad guy. Well, we didn't call them. They called us, and it wasn't us. We didn't do anything. And then to go on and be and moan about some of the realignment and, the people basically just trying to survive because of the after effects of a move that he took part in, I think is just laughable. And that's why, as good as he may be at his job, as smart of a man as he might be, like, we're not stupid, pal. Like, you had a hand in everything that's happened. You can't deny that. I don't care how much you want to say, well, they called me, I didn't call them. You still had to reciprocate on the other end of that phone line. And you did what anybody would have done and what anybody would do right this very moment. You did the absolute best, most exciting move possible for your conference. But it just leaves his words a little hollow when I hear him complaining about tradition and, disruption and things like that. It's like, buddy, it didn't start with you. But this little chapter absolutely started with a move that you had a hand in. So, like, that's undeniable. So,
he's the Teflon man. He is why, I don't know why we weren't credentialed by the SEC, but I got a feeling, I think it was like something we started to say, not that Dunlap, who's the SID or media guy for the conference, but something got back to him
Greg Stanky, is it when I called him that?
That was.
I called him Kim Jong Sankey.
Kim Jong
Was
Sankey.
it when I called him Greg Snaky?
But Brett McMurphy, yesterday when I reached out to him, I said, hey, come on the show. He goes, where are you guys at? I said, we're not there. I told him. He goes, what? So they're going to be in Atlanta next year.
We actually applied, and we got turned down. I know they have like 1,500 people there, which is just ridiculous. That's like 100 people a school in a big conference like that. So that's why do we always hear about them? Part of it's the winning. Part of it's also they're like 95% of the college football media is within that footprint. But yeah, there's a big crowd out there.
Well, and quite frankly, what's popular,
right? I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that cover them. So, quite frankly, after last week, I don't think we're all sweating the fact that we're not up in Dallas. I think we would have all been like dragging. It would have been fun for a couple days.
Well, it would have been today and tomorrow. It would have been today.
Yeah, we would have caught our breath a little bit, but that would have been quite the turnaround for sure.
All right, so there's that story. That was 3 years ago today when really all hell broke loose. There had been some other defections over the years, but that was the one that was wow. Blake Shapen.
Can I throw in a Sankey quote I just saw?
Go ahead.
That Paul will love. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey on 1010XL. Georgia was one of the best 4 teams in the nation and didn't get in the playoff, but you can see us jumping up and down and complaining and hanging national championship banners.
Oh, my God.
No, you can't get upset. You're about to...
That drink's going to come in just right in time. Just take that edge off.
Oh, my God.
You can't because you're about to have beer in you, and you can't... and you know what? We can argue. I mean, he's a very even keel man. He's
that is something you just don't need to say, Greg.
It took us less than 15 minutes to mention Florida State.
Oh, my God. I didn't even do it.
You didn't have to.
I didn't even do it. It's just like, okay, well, they lost to Alabama. You can't have everybody, Greg. Right. You can't have everybody.
Well, no, yeah, you can.
Well, I mean,
he's sure as heck trying to, yeah.
They can. Yeah, they can. All right, so Blake Shapen, former Baylor quarterback, is now at Mississippi State, was asked earlier today at SEC Media Days about playing in the SEC.
Bit of a learning curve when it comes to the heightened talent that you'll play against in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it, we played some SEC teams whenever I was at Baylor too. But yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, it's the best conference in football. So I mean, this is where everybody wants to play. This is where the best of the best play. So I'm sure there's going to be a step up when it comes to talent, things like that. Probably coaching, maybe in some areas. So I mean, it's the best conference to play in.
Did you watch a lot of SEC games, even though you were at Baylor?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, anytime we weren't playing or if we're waiting to play and there was an SEC game on, I would always watch it.
All right, so there's Blake Shapen earlier today at Media Days. He also mentioned he worked out with Dak Prescott over the summer and how much that helped him tighten up whatever he was trying to get better at.
He ought to have a heck of a regular season then.
They'll fall apart in the postseason. Yeah.
No, I mean, I wish Blake all the best. He was, a good player here and nice enough guy just from the media interactions that we were able to have. Definitely a bit closed off, kind of shy, which I related to that, and I totally understood that. And, seemed like a young man just trying to do his best, and it just didn't work out here ultimately. He had some good moments, though, for sure. Had some bad moments, and, it led him to Starkville and to Jeff Lebby, oddly enough. So, that's an offense where it seems like he could really do some damage, but it is, the SEC to the point of the quote there, and it's a step up in competition just, week to week, and I'm fascinated just the marriage there between he and Lebby and that offense and Blake and his health in general, playing in that league. I'm very interested. He's not their long-term answer, obviously, but he's the one that's getting them off, to a start. So, very curious to see Blake Shapen at Mississippi State.
Jalen Milroe was asked a question, obviously one heck of a player, about the amount of quarterbacks that come out of the state of Texas. His quote was, with all the resources that's provided in the state of Texas, big stadiums, great coaching staffs, the weight rooms are outstanding. A lot of factors for the performance of quarterbacks, and, of course, the state of Texas has flooded college football for the last several years. I go back to when they first started playing 7-on-7 back in maybe the 90s. I think it was about that time when you started to see teams start play, high school kids start to do that in the summer, and so a nice compliment to the state of Texas when it comes to high school football with Jalen Milroe. All right, Billy Napier, hot seat. You think he's a hot seat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
change doesn't happen overnight. Ultimately, timing is everything, right? When we took the job, what we inherited, the work that needed to be done, I think we're on schedule to some degree.
Yeah, the problem is you're in a place that's not going to wait around for you because they're used to being the upper echelon, and they're not that. And I could argue pretty successfully, I think Garrett might back me up on this, that they're worse than they were under Dan Mullen right now.
They're on par.
I mean, like Dan Mullen he didn't want to recruit anymore. Like, and Georgia in particular was kicking his butt. And that's a big rival, and that was going on. Dan didn't want to do that anymore. He's fantastic on television, so he made a great life choice. But for the University of Florida, it's been tough because he did set him behind a year, but this is the third year that Billy Napier has been there. So if he doesn't show any growth by now, then I think we know what's going to happen. But I think to say that they're on schedule, when you're still a year away from DJ Lagway reasonably starting and all that, I think you're maybe a little bit behind it because I would think that your schedule was that Jaden Rashada was going to be your starter this year, and that didn't work out.
You used the word schedule.
That's what he did. Yeah.
I'm talking about the games, who they have to play.
Yeah, they got a really tough schedule. You got a young quarterback. If Lagway's the majority of who we see there, I guess it could be Graham Mertz instead, right? But Lagway's the guy that they're really propping up to be the next big thing. So I could see where that alone gets him like another year if this is like okay enough just based on the schedule being as tough as it is. You know what I mean? Like having just a middle of the road kind of a year, but seeing enough and like, oh, we got Lagway and we are going to hit the portal and we're going to hit NIL and our schedule will ease up. And I could see how you talk yourself into another year after this, but like, yeah, he's getting towards the end of like, he's got to start proving some stuff. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be this year or bust, but he's got to show a little something this year to be, in a good percentage place to come back for yet a fourth year. But, there was Dan Mullen. They went 10-3 in 18, 11-2 and won the Orange Bowl the next year. They had won the Peach Bowl in that 10-3 year. So you had back-to-back 10-plus win seasons, Peach Bowl, Orange Bowl wins, and then Mullen had that 8-4 year, followed by a 6-7 year. Lost a couple bowl games, and then here's Napier, who's 6-7, 5-7. So it's been about a 4-year stretch where you had Mullen start going sliding downwards, and then Napier's just kept it steady at like basically bowl eligibility. So that's kind of the marker right now, and we'll see if he can get at least to that point. If he does, you think he'd be safe.
We'll get to the other stuff in a little bit. We also have a response from Adam Rittenberg on Sankey's comment about Georgia. What's the point of this comment? Delaney didn't talk like that when Penn State finished 5th. He also lobbied heavily for Alabama and got what he wanted. Talking about the Sankey quote today.
No, it's just him being a jerk. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. There's no reason for that to put it in the wound. And, as far as I know, FSU hasn't raised a banner. Maybe I'm wrong.
God help them if they only have like 3 that make the 12. Yeah. All right, now.
Yeah. All right.
Are we going to break first?
No, let's go ahead and do it and break.
All right. Who is doing what? You're going to get on your head.
I'm just here.
Yeah.
Can I read this note from Amanda? Can I read this text from Amanda? Should I read it before, Paul? If Paul bruises himself or his ego, I don't want to hear about it. He is your responsibility.
Okay, well.
There you go.
We're taking care of him, Amanda.
All right.
As you can clearly see. Does it need to be pumped or anything? Or do you got it? All right.
Dear
Let's
God.
go, buddy.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it.
Five.
Tap, tap.
And a little bit of foam
he said some
afterwards.
foam.
And a little bit of foam afterwards. Too much foam, he said. That's what I was asking about. Like,
wait a minute.
I was asking if y'all had it set up properly.
Do we need to do it again when we get?
I think so. I think you got to clear some of the foam out.
Dude, they were in here. They pumped the foam out for like a few minutes, man. They tried.
Wait a minute.
It was delicious.
So Pre-Pro did their job.
The Pre-Pro did their job.
I'm just making sure here.
Yeah.
5. It is not 15.
I don't think it got to 5.
Well, because we stuttered our counting because
there's an echo.
There was an echo, and I should have been saying Mississippi afterwards to get the proper full 1 second count.
I'm not in bed like 5 seconds.
All right.
Paul is Paul
we
is
were
not
talking 30 seconds yesterday.
15.
So wait a minute.
5 seconds.
I thought a keg stand is if you're absolutely straight up in the air on your head.
I think if they did that, there'd be the risk of like he just flipped over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to give him a little bit of an angle so that there's enough balance.
Jack and Emery, both of you need to come on camera. Your guilty ass looks in your face. Who snorted?
Oh.
Who just snorted?
I did.
Yeah, Garrett did.
Okay.
That just happened so much quicker than I expected.
Oh,
It was just like he went up and then
Me too.
Yeah, we just started counting.
It just happened. Yeah.
Oh
man.
The chat room.
So if we had put bets on this and I said 15, I mean,
I'm sorry. Bang the under.
When I left yesterday,
I'm ashamed.
When I left yesterday, I was practicing counting in my head. And I was like, wow, 15's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Like one Mississippi and 2 Mississippi. And I didn't even do that right on this go-around here. We just started randomly counting, but 5, that's nowhere close.
Retired stockbroker, Barry Crawford, super chats just because.
They said $1 a minute. They said $1 or $1 a second,
okay.
$1 a second.
$5 each.
Yeah.
Donating nickels.
Laughed my ass off. Paul, let's go. Must see TV. Yes. LMAO.
Here.
He's Italian. He might
Put it in the
might
coffee
fishing-
cup. Yeah, fill that bad boy up. But that foam, man,
Uncle Paul.
definitely a problem. You see it on top of the coffee mug there.
This should be the top 5, but we get a full show of Tipsy Paul.
It'd be top 5 of 1 for every second that he was doing the keg stand.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me to do it. I don't drink beer. I really don't. I don't. It's very rare for me. If I'm on a golf trip, which I haven't been in a couple of years, on the second round of the afternoon, I might have a beer in the last hole or two, a cold Coors Light or something like that. What the holy from Wet Blanket?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, boys and girls. Good effort, Paul. It was a good effort, I guess. I mean, you tried.
Look, it just happened so quick.
It just happened. I mean, like, as soon as that pump, that foam, like I had to the foam filled up my cheeks. So if it was a little less foamy, I probably could have done like 3 more seconds, to be honest with you, max. But the foam filled my cheeks so fast, so I had to like slurp that down. And then like the actual beer came out, and because like the foam was here, it like kind of like knocked into it. There was some chemistry inside my body that again I haven't felt since 2002 or 3.
I was going to say, what does 19-year-old Paul think of what he just saw?
So wait a minute.
19-year-old Paul would call me a bitch. That's what he would do.
Yeah, no, but you primed it, but there was still foam at the top.
I probably needed to prime it again, but we had just primed it like at probably about 258, 259.
Yeah, right. Emery's in here sucking it down.
They did, they did what they were supposed to do. It's just, it wasn't even so much that you were so quick as far as the 5 seconds, but just the whole act. Like he just went boom up, boom, here we go.
Like, I'm impressed with the strength of Jack and Emery.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to you guys. That was like part of the planning out phase of like, how does this get done? And that actually was pretty smooth. It's just that you were nowhere close to 15 seconds.
No, I wasn't. Two or 3 Paul lifts is like a whole work. Like they can plan workouts around that. There's going to be, you know what? Here's what it's going to be. This is going to be your new workout if you're really getting into getting strong.
Dude, all you
and a buddy are going to pick me up.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
All you got to do is throw a little like music and a little flashy graphics, and you can be like the pre-ad to a YouTube video with Paul's like, party workout system, and it's like doing keg stands or helping, lift people up is part of your workout. But hey, you did it.
All right.
Thank you to Southern Roots.
Yeah, that's good. And the pizza's delicious.
And to Cold Break, but Southern Roots. And thank you to Retired Stockbroker for what is now a beer mug.
Yeah.
No. I've been using the heck out of mine as well. So, appreciate my Dragon mug.
When Craig at 100,000 takes a show without a hat on, which will be monumental.
Yeah.
I think we should do another.
No. I'm retired from Texas. I'm perfectly willing to do something else. In the rule of Ocean's 11, you don't do the same gag again, you do another gag. I'll do that, but this one, it was a little cold at home last night.
Make you feel a little mortal?
Yeah, a little cold at home. You read the text.
Yeah, no, I did. And I followed the man law because I wanted to.
I know you wanted to poke the bear a little bit there, but no. And look, I get it.
You told me the bear was already poked.
Yeah, she came from a place of love. I understand it, but
now she's gonna be like,
and let me
5
tell
seconds,
you,
really, Paul?
Here's something I learned. Like if when I told you I'm going to do a keg stand at 50,000 and you were like, you're not going to do a keg stand. I'm like, yeah, I am. You'd be like, all right, good deal. She told me, no, you're not. And I was like, I thought it was like, no, you're not.
Oh, no, you're not.
I thought it was like that. And so then yesterday when she's like, well, when I told you a couple times that I don't like, you're not doing this, I was telling you you're not doing this. And my brain is like, oh, yeah, I thought you were kidding.
No.
I thought it was like one of those things.
It was that awkward thing.
She said, yeah.
Good old communication.
Yeah,
so do you think Amanda would beat your ass on this right here with
no,
the 5
absolutely
seconds?
not. No.
Do you mean like as far as like beat him as far as how long
a
he
keg
went?
stand?
Or as far...
No, absolutely not. She's probably never done one.
Hey, man, I haven't done one in 20 years. I can't imagine what it'd be like to just do that out of the blue. Like,
I don't know, like, if it's the beer I just, like, sucked down, which is only 5 seconds, so it can't really be that.
No.
Or it's the, being upside down and not being right side up. But
I think that has something to do with it.
I'm a little bit.
Paul's feeling good, people.
Yeah, I don't know that good.
Yeah, everybody
good
here.
Would be,
there's a lot of. There's a lot
Let me
of
tell you
people
about Florida State and Greg Sankey, okay?
Listen,
a lot of
Sankey,
people.
you son of a, you know what? I know. Yeah.
A lot of people. The